Welcome to another week of Ether Raids. We're taking on Light Season, starting with Ninian here, Fallen Ninian.
I agree.
Kind of starting a bit late. It's one of the few times that I've actually started a full day late, so my lift is a bit higher than normal, or my Ether is higher than normal. Weird names. I wonder how they came up with the names for these things. I mean, I guess it makes sense. But yeah, starting late. This is what day is it? Wednesday that I'm starting this, and we're gonna get through 3 matches today. Here, the units pretty straightforward. Just gonna go up and wallop them, and then that should be that. I don't know. Let's see what this season holds. Excited to see what we're gonna be able to get on with the potent that I've put on Hearthfelger. It's only on one team. I didn't want to unlock the other teams because it didn't make any sense to. The other teams were already pretty solid in terms of their sets, so just gonna leave them as is. And then the only thing that's left to look forward to after this, I'm gonna go ahead and SDS prep. Might as well. I have nothing else to do. I was feeling like really sick. Well, nah, not really sick, but just too sick to function yesterday. So, and also I had to do the video. Oh, well, I say had to, but it's not like my job. I chose to do the video for the defense replays yesterday, and for rank 1 for Chaos Season, which, congratulations to me, fantastic achievement, I must say, although a large majority of it is more than likely down to just luck of the draw, especially in Chaos. Like, overall, I don't think the defense that I built for Chaos Season was that scary or that difficult to beat. It really falls apart to hit and run. So there's that, but then also I do have Felix in that position just to corner. Felix is actually not genius. Stick him in the corner, because what will happen is that the opponent might run out of actions to get to him, since he's in the back in the corner. So if they back away, they have to back away far enough where Felix won't be able to warp in, and that's usually pretty difficult to do. So yeah, genius on my part. It worked out, but overall I don't think it was the craziest defense, but it did very well. And also I only got like 8 replays, which is very rare. I don't know, maybe because I didn't play the last hour, so maybe there was one more. I didn't check, the last hour. I passed out, fell asleep, and I didn't wake up until like at reset. I only recorded the 8 because from the day prior I was expecting to get like 9 or 10, but maybe it did go to 10. I just didn't see them, so as far as I'm concerned, they didn't exist. If I didn't see it, it didn't happen. So yeah, rank 1 run. Hopefully not the last, although I don't know, the meta is going to change pretty quickly, I think, from here on out into the next book. So I don't know, it's going to be a lot of shaking up, a lot of things are going to be different, so I guess it's hard to predict what to expect. Who knows, maybe Chaos Season becomes like even more difficult or less. It could really swing either way, but GG's, this is the first match. Gonna load up one more. Here we go. Alright, here's the second match of the day. Same thing, we're gonna do it again. I haven't actually changed, aside from building that team with the Hearthfelger, which, like, even though I built that team with the potent Hearthfelger, it hurt me to do that, because it really did, because that was my last copy of potent on Harmonic, what am I saying, Harmonic? Attuned, no, is she attuned? Rearmed. What is her name? What is her name? Rearmed Lucina. That was the last copy, and I don't know when we're gonna get more potent fodder, or if I'm gonna want to fodder the unit that has that fodder. So yeah, it was really tough. It was a really tough decision, but I feel like it was the right one. I feel like I'm probably going to use Hearthfelger in SD, because the map for this SDS is a mountain terrain, and it is you want flyers. So I'm going to have some type of flyer team. I wish I had like, you know, IVs I could give her like plus speed. Out of trade fruits. Kind of waiting on the. Well, I mean, even if I do, I only have like less than 50. So even if I get 40 from the pack, which really sucks that they don't give you the amount that you want. It's never the amount that it should. They should have just made it 100. Just give me 100. I can actually use 100. I mean, yeah, they're giving you the floret, and that can, you know, automatically change a specific stat. But just give me the 100 trade fruits. I'm paying for it anyway. If you want to raise the price, fine. I'll still pay for it. Just give me the 100. It's really, I feel like their IS misses a lot of opportunities to make money. I don't know if it's in a attempt to keep the game competitive and not too pay to win, because for me personally, I would love to just spend money on dragon flowers. Like, not even like to buy the dragon flowers themselves, but to buy the stat increase that the dragon flowers provide. Something that would automatically, like, there should be like an elixir or something that automatically gives you the plus 30 dragon flowers. That is kind of where my head is at this point, because 35, I think that's the max, dragon flowers is a lot of investment. And some of the units, like especially the older ones, like I'm looking at building up a
Good morning.
Kajel, I think that's how you say her name. It's gonna take a ton of investment to get her to the point where she is competitive, and I feel like she has the potential. I'm surprised that no one's really using her that much, but she's actually still pretty good with the amount of debuffs that her weapon provides in combat. So I would really love to build her up. I'd really love to get the dragon flowers to do that, but that's going to take forever. My only alternative is to perhaps hope that I can come across her in Binding Worlds, because that mode is the biggest gamble at this point. I feel like initially when they implemented it, it was balanced, but now it just doesn't feel like that anymore, especially with the amount of unit options that are available for selection. There's so many more units that you can get. It just feels like you're not getting anywhere near to what you actually want. And I don't know, maybe the participation is down as well, but I don't think it's ever going to give you that specific unit that you're looking for. When it first came out, everyone was really hype about it, and the unit at the time was, I think, Kajel and Dagger and a couple others. So you're going to get that because that was the unit that was popular at the time. But I don't think it's like that. It doesn't seem to be like that. There isn't a unit, an old unit, that is that popular now, as to where everyone would want to put that unit out for selection. And it kind of is, the new units are just like too popular, which is a bad thing for a mode like Binding Worlds.
Suggestions?
But yeah, I would love to just buy the dragon flowers at this point. I feel like that would be like the best solution, but then also it might be negative for the game in that whales doing whale things. It could become quite a problem. GG's. Let's play one more. All right. This is Moo. Is that Moo? Mao.
It's the Winter Festival.
One or the other. I don't know. But yeah, same team yet again. This one, I mean, it does look straightforward, but this one is actually more challenging than the ones that we've come across before. This is someone's chaos defense, and they apparently didn't swap it out. Unfortunate for them, but it's still pretty tough because we got to get through Asker and Felix, and the trap placements are actually a problem for Golvig in particular. Golvig isn't going to be able to solo Asker. She won't live the hit, and sometimes she has trouble taking out Felix with the damage output. So it's about to get a little bit dicey, this one. But I do see a path for victory going up through Lif and then going all the way through the back. But let's see how that works out.
Right, you are.
In practice. Oh, you know, one of the things that I wanted to hype about.
Suggestions?
I think I posted it recently.
Who's next?
Like just a picture. Anime. The saga of Tanya the Evil is fantastic. It was so good. I didn't expect. What is it? I wouldn't call it propaganda. It's not propaganda. What's the best way to describe it?
At your command.
It's a fictional recount of World War One.
Say the word.
A fictional recount of the events that led up to World War One and Two. I do see them going into World War Two in the future, even though only a season in the movie has been out so far. If they eventually decide to put out a second season, that's the territory I see them getting into. And I actually love what they're doing. I love the depiction of it. It's so, I want to say realistic, but it's actually not, because they are using their creative liberties to put a lot of elements into it that didn't actually take place. But it's very close to what actually transpired. And it also has this interesting twist to it where it's looking at it from the perspective of Germany winning. Or just, you know, being the good guys. I don't want to say that she is on the side of the good guys, but it positions the show in a way that they're not the initial aggressors, and I find that very, very interesting. Just from a narrative standpoint of how the story is told, it's very well written. It's very smart. A bit funny at times in terms of just.
Name a target.
It's interesting how they're able to put comedic elements into a war. I find that that's really just good writing, I want to say. Big ups to the mangaka that wrote that. But apparently, one of the big problems, or one of the things, I loved it so much that I actually just wanted to delve into the source material immediately after watching the movie, just to see where the rest of the story goes, but I couldn't find anything online. It's really big in Japan, but of course I can't read Japanese. At this point I can like pick up specific words, or I can understand like
We mustn't get lost.
context clues where a word has several meanings. Like, of course, baka is, you know, that's like commonplace in modern anime. I feel like that baka is like cultural at this point.
Say the word.
I'm gonna take this skill on Asker because it just makes the most sense in terms of positional play. Hopefully I can get Felix with Edelgard, and then that should allow me to do the rest of this. I don't know how I'm gonna close this out because it's getting pretty tricky, particularly because of Lucina in the back there. I can't pin her, and there isn't enough flame terrain to prevent her from sniping Edelgard, so that is why this is currently being a pain and taking me so long to complete. I won't have the dual button since Lucina is more than likely going to be the last unit here, and I can't warp to above. That's bad. I don't want to step on any of these traps. I'm pretty sure that trap is real, and I lose a lot of actions if I do that. Hearthfulger is in a spot that I would want in order to be able to attack Felix, but I don't know if Goldvig is going to be able to get that KO, even if I... 4 is so close, man. Yeah, I don't know if Goldvig is even going to be able to get that KO, even if I move Hearthfulger out of that spot. It's kind of crazy how this is the toughest one that I've had so far today, and it's only 6 units, but it's still an actual, you know, thought out defense. So there's, what would I say, merit to it. It's not like a fluke defense with just like a bunch of random units. There's actually thought that's put into this one. Most of the disappointing thing about this was that Edelgard wasn't able to take out this Marianne in one hit before I was able to take out Asker. That's because of the Breath of Life. It's crazy that the 99 or the 90 damage that I was doing was getting reduced to a point where she could survive with 4 health. That's crazy. The only reason I'm able to get that is because of the chip damage from the flame terrain. think we're gonna have to get creative here and do something with the defense terrain, and pretty much just gamble. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I couldn't find any copies of the Saga of Tanya the Evil online that were available to just like be read. There were like typically you can find stuff to get on like Yen Press or like through some manga apps that you can just download and read stuff, or even through Amazon Books. What do you call it? Audiobooks. You can get some material there that you can read as well. I just just to buy it, but I was quite surprised. It has a lot of volumes, a lot of currently out, but the problem is translation. A lot of it isn't translated, or at least that I could find. A lot of it isn't available online, which is so weird. Maybe if I dug hard enough, but I'm just not gonna dig that deep. Even though it's really good, I'm not gonna dig that deep just to find it. I'll just wait, I guess, until it comes out. But I checked and I couldn't find anything, and I kind of understand why, in the sense that the topic that it is discussing is a little bit sensitive to the Western audience. Probably don't want to rehash a lot of those memories and stories about what happened, and to see it portrayed in this way, where Germany is kind of taking the initiative and being reflected as the defenders and the ones that are kind of in the right, might not do too well with the Western audience, which is why I think the movie was only released in Japan, because I don't see a movie like that with the subject matter that is being discussed doing well overseas outside of Japan. But yeah, it was politics aside. Historically, I love that stuff. European wars have always been a thing that fascinated me ever since high school. I remember going to the library for when we were first introduced to European history, and I picked up a book and started reading about what's his name? Napoleon. And I was like, holy, this is fantastic stuff. It is very melodramatic, and man, I've just been hooked ever since. And then I started reading about like the American Revolution, how the Tea Party, how they got out from under England, the Civil War, fantastic stuff. So it's definitely like, I've watched like so many things about like what led up to World War One, and how World War One then led up to World War Two, because of we got our butts whooped, so we're still not over it. It perpetrated this idea that a fight never actually ends, and that's one of the key themes in the saga of Tanya the Evil, is that a fight is never actually over, even though you win. It's not about winning, it's about how you win, because if you humiliate your opponents, if you beat them so bad that they just feel bad, they're gonna have that in the back of their minds, and they're gonna probably try to prepare and come back and get at you just because of how bad you beat them. It's one of the thing about, it's like, just me looking back at it, I miss the time when people used to just like fist fight. This is probably just more of a Western problem because guns are so like a big thing here. But fist fight, I feel like it was like a solid way to settle things. You win. I'm more talking about like an honor system. If you win, you win, and that's that. Like, I'm a big proponent of, especially when you're young, just fight it out, have a fight. Because sometimes I believe personally that sometimes there's things that can't be solved without violence, unfortunate as that may be. And that doesn't necessarily have to escalate to the point where someone dies, but I feel like I believe that sometimes just punching it out is the best solution to a problem, just to understand each other's points more clearly, especially if you're not like eloquent with your words and trying to get other people to understand where you're coming from. Yeah, and that's like a big topic. It's not about how you win. It's not about defeating your opponent. It's about how you win. And I really like that element to it. So big fan, hooked on the show, looking forward to the rest of the seasons whenever they come out, if they ever come out. Hopefully they do, because that's like another manga that I just will forever just not know the ending of. I'm just gonna assume, but it seems pretty popular. I mean, once it comes out in Japan, hopefully it should filter out into the West at some point. But yeah, very good show. I was pleasantly surprised. I was also surprised at how it started, and I was also surprised that they were able to put some type of theological element into it, of like this whole thing about like God. And that's like another thing that I'm really big on in terms of like, I messed up there, hold on. Exactly the idea that the protagonist harps on. Harps on in that. Why are you so interested in this world, but yet...
Leave it to me.
No.
Come along.
The whole idea of, if God so loved the world, why did he set the whole world up to die? And, you know, that type of thing. Like, because there are a lot of things that happen and you're just like, that kind of seems odd. If God so loved the world, why would he let something like this? And yeah, I mean, you have the argument of it's supposed to happen, destiny, blah, blah, blah. Some things are just, bad things are just supposed to happen, but that just doesn't sit right with me. But yeah, man, great show. GG's. See you in the next one.